AVtv is a product of the AV journalism class produced for the students of Amador Valley High School. The views expressed on the show do not represent the views of AVHS teachers, admin, or PUSD personnel.
We'd like to start today with an important update to the mask wearing requirements. PUSD Superintendent Dr. David Haglund sent an email last week letting us all know that the California Department of Public Health shifted their mask guidance specific to schools. At the end of last week, the Alameda County Public Health Department announced that they would be aligning the recommendations with the state, which allowed PUSD to update the mask guidelines in our schools. As of March 12th, PUSD will no longer require masks to be worn indoors. However, masks are still strongly recommended. Outdoor masking continues to be optional and is recommended in crowded settings. Dons, the most important part of this announcement from the district was the acknowledgement that the pandemic is not over and that families will be making different decisions about whether their students will continue to wear masks in the classroom. We are all coming out of a rough 2 years, and it doesn't matter whether your family believes in continuing to wear masks or they believe we should never have worn masks. Please remember, we are all Dons. Our families should be entitled to do what they feel is best and not worry about harassment, teasing, or anything else. As Dr. Haglund's email reminds us, we have all experienced and been affected by the pandemic in different ways. We're all getting through this the best we know how, and right now, we all just need a little grace, empathy, and kindness. Okay, let's get back to Carissa and today's show.
Good morning, Dons. Today is Thursday, March 10th, and I'm Carissa. Let's start off with the most important announcement of the day. There's a staff meeting tomorrow, so there is no school. Plan something fun and have a great 3-day weekend because this is your last one until spring break. Dons, if you would like to change your course request for next year, make sure to return a completed form to your counselor by Tuesday, March 15th. After March 15th, no change requests are allowed until August. Attention seniors, on Monday, March 14th, there is a senior parent meeting at 7 p.m. in the AV library. There, parents can learn more about upcoming senior events like grad night and senior after hours. For more information, you can go to amadorseniorparents.org. March is Women's History Month. In 2022, we still have women who are not paid the same as men for doing the same job. Women still struggle for equality in sports, and women are still less likely to be hired than men when starting their careers. This is an important time for all of us to celebrate the women around us and their achievements. Here at AVtv, we've prepared a series of short features on various incredible women in our community. Today, we will be profiling a group of women from the Bay Area who realized the need to celebrate all the great accomplishments of women, which led to the National Women's Month. Let's check this out. Women's History Month celebrates the accomplishments of women throughout history. Believe it or not, Women's History Month was founded right here in the Bay Area in 1978 by a group of 5 women in Santa Rosa led by a teacher named Molly Murphy McGregor. Together, these women established the National Women's History Project. What inspired these educators was the fact that they realized there is poor representation of women in the K-12 curriculum. Most of the curriculum was dominated by white men. They created a week-long celebration of women. The week-long event started in 1978, but it soon reached the eyes of many other people around the country. In 1980, President Jimmy Carter issued a proclamation that made the week of March 8th National Women's History Week. Soon after, Congress dedicated the entire month of March to Women's History Month. This has been Carissa with AVtv News. Last week, Amador's French class celebrated Mardi Gras, or Fat Tuesday. This annual holiday is an important holiday in French culture. It marks the last night before the fasting of Lent. Let's check this out.
Mardi Gras is a holiday that's mostly celebrated in New Orleans and sometimes France, and is otherwise known as Fat Tuesday.
I like to see the students in a different kind of setting, not behind their desk, especially now that we are in person and we didn't have the celebration last year because we had distance learning. So I think it's a great way for them to get out of their seats and have a cultural experience. I had students signing up to bring in food. We had a lot of volunteers to bring in food. Then we had a special committee that was in charge of cleaning up. I gave them some food choices, but students also came up with their own ideas.
The colors representing the holiday are purple, green, and gold. And Amador students in French class 1 to 5 celebrate Mardi Gras with snacks, cider, and cakes as they learn more and more about the French culture in class.
And this is Arlena Yang with AVtv.
I'm sure you all enjoyed St. Luna's mini concert last Thursday. I know I did. Since they came all the way from San Diego for us, we thought it would be only fitting to highlight their performance on our show. Here's a recap on the event.
I'm Wick Hauser.
I'm Max Katz.
I'm Braden Jace.
I'm Parsa.
I'm Charlie Black.
And we're
St. Luna.
What are you doing to me? I'm going crazy thinking you like me somehow.
Last Thursday, an up-and-coming band, St. Luna, performed here at Amador during lunch in front of the R Building. Coming all the way from San Diego, they performed some of their top songs, such as Goldfish, Voodoo Doll, and Cat's Garage. Their performance was a big hit with the students.
I want to be the biggest rock band in the world. No small goals. Shoot for the stars, why not?
This has been Audrey Coombs with AVtv News.
Dons, now that our world is opening back up, it's time for many of us to get back on planes. But lately, the news has been flooded with stories about how our new 5G phones and the 5G cell phone towers have been creating problems with airplanes and their gauges. We went out to explore these stories and discover if there was a foundation for these concerns. Let's check this out.
As Apple pushes out new phones that include faster speed delivery through the 5G network, concerns have arisen claiming that the 5G network interferes with aircraft altimeters, which could prevent a plane's ability to safely land. When planes are in flight, they rely on altimeters, which is a gauge that measures the height of the aircraft above the ground. This is especially critical when the weather prevents pilots from being able to see the ground.
In a recent study, the RTCA published a report warning of the possibility of catastrophic failures leading to multiple fatalities in the absence of appropriate mitigations. According to Reuters, U.S. airlines have warned the directives could disrupt up to 4% of daily flights.
According to BBC News, the 5G application is the next generation of mobile internet connection and offers much faster data download and upload speeds. Although this is an extremely useful and helpful thing that many users take advantage of, it can be a serious threat to planes. According to the research, the problem is not with the people using 5G phones on the plane. The issue comes from the 5G towers near the airports, which cause the actual disruption.
The U.S. Department of Transportation, led by Pete Buttigieg, has been working with cell phone providers to prevent these problems and find solutions.
This has been Parker Brown,
Lucy Taylor, Haley Gottlieb,
and Sophia Skinner
with AVtv News.
Dons, we have so many good stories up on Amador Valley today that we just had to bring back AV News Briefs. Here's Layla with today's AVT News Briefs.
Thanks, Carissa. Now it's time for AV News Briefs. This program brings you the most up-to-date local news and features that happen in our Amador community. On Saturday, February 26th, Amador Girls Who Code Club hosted their 3rd annual summit, teaching young girls how to code using a programming language called Python Turtle. The summit was a huge success thanks to its volunteers and student coordinators. To find out more about how the event went, go to AmadorValleyToday.org. Clubs at Amador are doing amazing things this year, and that includes DECA. Amador students in DECA attended the California State Career Development Conference in Anaheim to compete for spots in the International Career Development Conference that would take place in April. To learn more about the conference and the qualifying candidates, visit AmadorValleyToday.org. Now, it's no secret that Amador students do great things with their time outside of school. Our reporters took a look at senior Malhar Nagaraj's creativity in the music realm, who produced an R&B album titled The Mood Sours in December. Forming a band with 2 of his close friends, Nagaraj has his sights set on continuing to make music that tells a meaningful story. To learn more about Nagaraj's story, visit AmadorValleyToday.org. Don't forget, Dons, AmadorValleyToday.org is your place for all the school and local news, with new content every day. And that's it for this week's News Briefs.
Now it's time for the photo of the week. You can submit yours to avtv@rocketmail.com. Now we have a commercial. Now we have another commercial. Well, that's it for today. Make sure you hang around for today's birthday grams and check back in with us next Thursday for more news, announcements, and profiles. Thanks for joining us, and remember, Dons, it's always a beautiful day here at Amador.
Yeah, it's a beautiful